ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। 49th class. You can repeat. Vasudevendra Yogindram Natva Jnanapradam Gurum.
वासुदेवेन्द्र योगीन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं
मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधोऽभिधीयते।
मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधोऽभिधीयते।
साधनचतुष्टय सम्पन्नाधिकारिणाम् मोक्षसाधनभूतम् तत्त्वविवेकप्रकारं वक्ष्यामः। साधनचतुष्टयं किम्? नित्यानित्यवस्तु विवेकः इहामुत्रार्थफलभोगविरागः शमादिषट्कसम्पत्तिः मुमुक्षुत्वं चेति तत्त्वविवेकः कः? आत्मा सत्यः
आत्मा सत्यः
तदन्यत् सर्वं मिथ्या इति।
तदन्यत् सर्वं मिथ्या इति।
आत्मा कः
आत्मा कः
स्थूलसूक्ष्मकारणशरीरात् व्यतिरिक्तः
स्थूलसूक्ष्मकारणशरीराद्व्यतिरिक्तः
पञ्चकोशातीतः सन्
पञ्चकोशातीतः सन्
अवस्थात्रयसाक्षी
अवस्थात्रयसाक्षी
सच्चिदानन्दरूपः सन्
सच्चिदानन्दरूपः सन्
यः तिष्ठति स आत्मा
यः तिष्ठति स आत्मा।
So the Tattva Viveka Prakara started with what is Satyam and what is Mithya. The understanding of Satya and Mithya is important. That is what Vedanta is. Vedanta is all about understanding Satya and Mithya. Mithya doesn't mean non-existence. Mithya doesn't mean abhava. We are not dismissing the non-existence of a thing because we cannot dismiss it because it is non-existent. And the existent thing cannot be the cause for samsara, cannot be the cause for the problem. That which exists, that only will be the cause for problem. That which exists absolutely in all the three periods of time, that which is your Swarupa, that cannot be the cause for the problem of samsara. Therefore, what is the cause for the problem of the samsara? That which exists, but not absolutely. That which exists, not independently. That which exists not on its own, but its existence itself is a borrowed existence. But we think that the existence of that thing is real, and that is the cause for the problem of samsara. That which doesn't exist absolutely, but exists dependently, it means it doesn't exist on all the three periods of time. It was not in the past, it is now, it may not be in the future. It comes and goes. Agama payinaha, anityaha, that is called anitya. It doesn't have the same status as that of that which exists absolutely. That is why we say from the absolute standpoint, paramarthika drishtya, from the absolute standpoint, Atma is Satyam. Atma is only the Satya Vastu. There is nothing other than Atma. From the Vyavaharika standpoint, from the empirical standpoint, where all the transactions happen, from the Vyavaharika standpoint, from the Vyavaharika standpoint, also, Atma is Satya. This Anatma, which has relative existence. In the Vyavaharika standpoint, we take this Anatma to be as real as is Satya Atma. That is the problem. So the problem of this Vyavahara can go only when we understand the Satyatvam of Atma from the Paramarthika Drishti standpoint. The Paramarthika Drishti, that is called Jnanam. That is called knowledge. The knowledge only can remove Ajnanam, the real understanding of what Atma is. That continues to exist. That continues to exist. That is absolute reality. The empirical reality also, that is a reality. Therefore, in the empirical world, the transactional world, whatever the reality you give other than Atma, it cannot be really real. That is why it is called Mithya. The Mithya to be understood very clearly. If Mithya is not understood, then Vedanta is not understood. Having studied Vedanta for 25 years, the person says, I have understood everything, but not that Mithya. It means he has not understood Vedanta at all. Maybe he has understood some technical words. That's all. But it has not given him any knowledge. The understanding of what Mithya is very important. That is what Tattva Viveka Prakaraha. Atma Satyaha Tadanyat Mithya iti. Anyat means other than Atma. What is other than Atma? In the empirical world, other than Atma, it is there. It is there, but it is not real. It is not real. It has got empirical reality. It has got only empirical reality. From the Paramarthika standpoint, it is not there. It is Mithya. That is called Mithya. I have given many examples for our understanding. The best example is pot and the clay. Pot is there. Pot can be considered to be having the empirical reality. The pot is nothing but clay. Clay is the absolute reality. The pot, which is available in the empirical world, the pot is used for, it has got some utility. It is used for storing water. The pot has got a certain form. The clay has certain form, and that is given the name pot. So pot is nothing but a nama, a name, and rupa, a form given to the clay. If you destroy the pot, the clay continues to be. You cannot destroy the clay. In this example, we assume the clay to be the absolute reality. It is only an example. You have to look upon this as only as an example. So clay is the reality, absolute reality. And the pot, which is made from clay, has got name and form, and it has got utility. That is the empirical reality. The empirical that it is useful. It has got certain utility. Because it has got certain utility doesn't mean the pot is real. The content of the pot is nothing but the clay. The destruction of pot will not destroy clay. The clay continues to be. Pot can come and pot can go. The pot can be converted into another form possible. But the clay cannot be converted. It continues to be clay only. So what is Satyam? Previously, pot was not there. Before the making of the pot, pot was not there. What was there is only clay. Now the pot has come. It has born. Now also, really speaking, it is only clay. It is not really pot. Where is pot? Minus name and form. Nama Rupa. Where is pot? There is no pot. And the pot doesn't have permanent reality. In future, it may not exist. The pot may get destroyed, but clay continues to be. So, therefore, what is the reality, what is Sat, what is that which exists in all the three periods of time, which really doesn't undergo any change, which cannot be destroyed. That which undergoes change, that which undergoes change only is temporary. It is only anitya. It is only destructible, but not the clay. Clay continues to be. Similarly, Atma also. This is what Mithya is. Mithya to be understood very clearly. So, therefore, Atma is Satyam. How many Satyam can be there? There cannot be many Satyam. If many Satyam is there, one Satyam will limit the other Satyam, then it ceases to be a Satya Vastu. When you say Satyam, that which exists in three periods of time, that is total, which is unlimited, which is complete, Purnaha, when we say. The Purna, a complete, cannot be two things or more than two. No two things can be complete. No two things can continue to exist absolutely. Then it cannot be absolute. That is contradiction. Logically, also it's a contradiction. So, therefore, there can be only one Satya Vastu. Why we say one? Because we have the notion of more than one. That is why we say one. Otherwise, there is no one. We cannot count it. We don't have to count it. 1, 2, 3. Since we have the notion of many, therefore, that many is negated. The Dvaitam is negated. That is why we say Advaitam. Atma is Advaita. Advaita Atma. Since we have the notion of many, therefore only we say Advaitam. Nadvaitam, Advaitam. The Nanch Tatpurusha Samasa. Advaitam. Our Siddhanta is Advaitam. Why we say Advaitam? There is no Dvaitam. Even in the empirical world, even though you see so many things, so many forms, so many things, Charachara Prapanchaha, in this Prapancha, you see so many Charavastu, Acharavastu, but Satyam is Atma only. There is only Satya Atma. Many are there, but really not many. Therefore, na Dvaitam Advaitam. So this Advaita Atma, the knowledge of this Advaita Atma alone can remove the problem of samsara. Therefore, Tattva Viveka is understanding this Satya Atma and also understanding what is not Atma. Since already we have certain notions about Atma, about ourselves, therefore we need to negate it. We need to understand and negate it. The negation is important. The dismissal is important. That prakriya is called neti neti prakriya. Not this, not this. Dismissing. Why we need to dismiss? Because we superimpose on Atma so many things. We superimpose on Atma this shariram, this body. We superimpose on Atma this mind. We superimpose on Atma all these sense organs, indriyas. And all this put together is considered to be Atma. And we superimpose on Atma all that which are associated with me, my family, my relation, my property, my possessions, my assets, my degrees, my qualifications, my country, language, everything is superimposed. So many we superimpose. Because when we say, this is my son, my country, my house, my village. All these are mama ete, aham tesham. That is the abhimana. That abhimana, atma abhimana is distributed towards so many anatma vastus, anatma things. Therefore, we need to dismiss in terms of understanding. When we say dismiss, not we cannot dismiss physically thing. You cannot dismiss any relationship. You cannot dismiss the parents. You cannot dismiss your siblings. You cannot dismiss your children. You cannot dismiss the country. You cannot dismiss the language, your native language. You cannot dismiss anything. Dismissal is only in terms of understanding. That abhimana, the self wrongly identified with so many things, that has to be dismissed. That dismissal is called neti neti prakriya. That is why in the definition of Atma Kaha, really speaking, Atma Kaha, there should be only one definition. Satchit Ananda Swarupaha Atma. That's all. That is a definition. And that we have seen very elaborately in one class. Last but one or before that. What Satchit Ananda Swarupaha. And it's going to come, we are going to discuss it later also. That is the definition of Atma. What about the other words in this definition? Atma Kaha. Stula Sukshma Karana Sharirat Vyatiraktaha. So Atma is not Stula Shariram. Atma is not Sukshma Shariram. Atma is not Karana Shariram because it is Vyatiraktaha, distinct from, different from all the three Sharirams. It is Panchakosha Atitaha. It is above the Panchakosha. Above the Panchakosha means it is not Panchakosha. It is not the three Sharirams, Stula Sukshma Karana. It is not Panchakosha. And it is Avasthatare Sakshi. Sakshi means witness. The witness there all the time, all the different states of existence, the three states of existence, it continues. That is why it's called witness. Since it continues to be the three states, that's why it's called witness, Sakshi. That is that Atma, which is of the nature of Sat, Chit, Ananda, existence. Sat, Chit is consciousness, the knowledge. Ananda is that which is of the nature of absolute happiness. Happiness is not the experiential happiness. The translation of the word Satchit Ananda Rupaha, always it is misleading. Existence, knowledge, bliss. It is not a bliss. Bliss means it is not super natural or sensual happiness and all. Any happiness should not be taken as the experiential happiness. If it is going to be experiential happiness, it is going to be limited. And when we say experience involves two things. Object will be there, subject will be there. The subject, the person, the karta, and the object, the karma will be there. When you say experience, all the other karakas walk in. Karta will come, karma will come, karana will come, sampradana, all the six karakas will walk in. When there are karakas, many karakas, the factors of action, karaka, it is explaining through the Vyakarana standpoint. When there are many karakas, then it is, the person is a samsari. When karta is there, that itself, that we say samsara. That karaka also has to resolve. Everything has to resolve in the understanding of Atma. What I mean is, when subject object is there, then only experience is possible. Subject object. The object becomes one with the subject. When the fusion of the subject and the object takes place, that is called experience. When you take a rasagulla and eat, rasagulla is the object, the person who eats. Now, as long as it is outside, you are the subject, that is the object. Now, the experience is the object has to become one with you. That is experience. You enjoy it. You gain certain santosha, happiness. This is called experiential happiness. And this experiential happiness are of different types. All the happiness are not of the same type. When it comes to experiential happiness, it has got degrees. It has got moda, pramoda, iti. There are different degrees of happiness are there in terms of experiential happiness got degrees. And when we say Ananda Swarupaha means it is Swarupa is Ananda. That is, it is not an object like any other object. It's not an object for detestation, your hatred. It can never be hated. You can never hate yourself. In fact, the only object what you love is yourself. I use the word object not in terms of the object in the literal sense. The only thing what you love is yourself. You are the object of love. Every other thing is loved for the sake of the love of you only, the pleased self, Atma. Everything is loved. Everything has a status of being loved because of the love for oneself. And the love for oneself cannot go. You cannot withdraw the love for yourself. Impossible. It cannot happen. Because that is called Ananda Swarupaha. You may say why the person commits suicide. The person also commits suicide because he loves himself. He doesn't want to undergo the pain. He doesn't want to undergo the suffering. He wants to end the pain, end the suffering. It means he wants happiness. And he knows that he is happiness. That's why he commits suicide. Suicide also, but it is a wrong thing. That's a totally different thing. Committing suicide is not the solution, but he wants to get rid of the problem. He thinks committing suicide will end the problem. But it's not going to end the problem. Because he loves himself, therefore only he commits suicide. Even the person who commits suicide. Because he loves himself, therefore he doesn't want to be rejected. Nobody wants to be rejected. The most painful thing is feeling rejected. That's why the rejected childhood, people who have the memory or who have this rejected childhood, later when they grow up, they will have a lot of emotional issues, problem. Because that rejection leads to self-rejection, self-dismissal, and therefore the person will have complex, inferiority complex. How much ever the person gains, he will not be satisfied. He will always look down upon himself because the person had been rejected in the childhood. Therefore, the self-rejection is rejection that the childhood issue that continues to be. So therefore only he always asks for appreciation, always asks for anchoring for recognition, appreciation. All these are childhood issues. Many of the issues, what a person have, a grown-up person has, it can be traced to the childhood issues. That is why bringing up the child is not a joke. A lot of our emotional personality are formed in the very early age itself. Before 4 years itself, the personality is formed. That span is very important. The healthy personality is created only in that time. And that the person has to live with throughout the life. If that is not healthy, then it is going to be the problem for the child. Whenever a situation comes, it triggers up the childhood issue. And that becomes a problem. So therefore, Swarupa of Atma is Anandaha. Because it is Anantaha, therefore it is Anandaha. It is Purnaha, therefore it is Anandaha. It is complete. Atma is complete, therefore it is Ananda Swarupa. So the definition of Atma can be simply given saying Sachit Ananda Rupaha San, but he doesn't say like that. He is giving the definition of Atma through what Atma is not. The negation, Stula Sukshma Karana Sharirat Vytiriktaha Panchakosha Atitaha iti. So, Stula Sukshma Karana Shariya is Anatma and Panchakosha is Anatma. That is, the Anatma is negated. Because these are the three things we are identified with. Our Abhimana is so strong with this three Shariram. Our Abhimana is so strong with Panchakosha. Panchakosha, these three Shariram, they are not different. They are same only. Three Shariram or Panchakosha, they are not different. They are Anatma only. It is, this division is in terms of our experience. We have a transactional experience. Anatma is divided into three Shariram or Panchakosha for the sake of understanding Anatma and dismissing it. This and for analysis purpose, we divide the Atma into three or Atma into five. When it is divided into three Shariram, it is called Shariratraya. When it is divided into five, it is called Panchakosha. It's a prakriya, it's a method of analysis of Anatma. Why we need a method of analysis, method of inquiry? Because it has to be dismissed. Therefore, that method, it's called prakriya. Prakriya is called method. So, Shariratraya prakriya, one prakriya, where the three Sharirams are inquired upon, and we say Atma is distinct from all the three Shariram. So, Shariratrayam is dividing the Atma into threefold, the division of the body. At the gross level, we have experienced, therefore, what is one Shariram? That is Stula, Sukshma level, another Shariram, that is mind and Indriyas. Karana Shariram is that which in the causal body we say. That is the Ajnana. Ajnanam is called Karana Shariram. So Anatma through these three Shariram presented and it is dismissed, saying that it is distinct. Atma is distinct from these three Shariram. And we discussed about the Stula Shariram, Karana Shariram, and later it's going to be defined also. The definition of Stula Shariram individually, Sukshma Shariram, Karana Shariram, is going to come. Because the student doesn't know anything. When the student asks, the teacher used Atma, the student asks, what is Atma? For that, the definition is given by the teacher. Stula, Sukshma, Karana. Now, the student doesn't know what is Stula Shariram, therefore he will ask questions. But anyway, we have seen that to some extent. And when the definition comes, we will see it further. Now, Panchakosha. Last class I stopped with that. I said we will talk about the kosha. Panchakosha. Another way of dividing the Atma is dividing the Atma into 5 layers of experience. The Anatma is divided into the 5 layers of experience. That's called Kosha Panchakam. And the method of analysis of these 5 layers, the human personality divided into 5 layers, that is called Panchakosha Prakriya. Panchakosha Prakriya. And another Prakriya is Avastatraya Prakriya, dividing the state of experience into 3. That is called Avastatraya Prakriya. So in the Shastram, you will find this Prakriyas. Shastram uses these Prakriyas. So whether it is Shariratrayam or Kosha Panchakam or Avastatrayam, all these are Anatma, analysis of Anatma. Anatma is not. Anatma is which is over which we have Abhimana. over which abhimana, through analysis it is dismissed. So, therefore, now this kosha, we'll discuss about this kosha. Pancha kosha atitaha san. Here pancha kosha is says, what are the pancha kosha that is not given? Pancha, that 5 are not enumerated. What are those 5 pancha koshas? Annamaya kosha. Annamaya kosha is sthula shariram. Anna is food. This body is made up of what? Food. Whatever we consume. Whatever vegetarian diet we consume. I hope only vegetarian diet. Because human beings are supposed to eat vegetarian. That is how this system is made. Annamaya. That is how the Vaidika also. That is why it's Vaidika. Annamaya. Annam is food. Even non-vegetarian also is food only. Because it is consumed. Non-vegetarian diet also, it is annam only. Because it is eaten. Adyate iti annam. That which is eaten, which is consumed, that's called annam. That which is eaten, consumed, becomes sthula sharira. Therefore, annamaya koshaha. Kosha means, literally kosha means the cover. Annamaya is, maya is that annam, the food, what consumed, it is converted to annamaya. It is converted to annamaya. So, the sthula shariram is annamayam. The sthula shariram, what we see, the skin, the muscle, on the blood, everything, which is sthula, all these are nothing but annam, modification of annam. Here the annamaya, maya means modification. Modification of the consumed food, whether it is vegetarian or non-vegetarian. I said vegetarian because it is best, it is sattvic. So it is annamaya kosha. So annamaya kosha is sthula shariram. From the sthula sharira standpoint, annamaya is sthula shariram. From the shariram standpoint, annamaya kosha is sthula shariram. Then the other koshas, pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, vijnanamaya kosha, and anandamaya kosha. This pranamaya, manomaya, vijnanamaya, these koshas, these are the koshas from the standpoint of the sukshma shariram. So, we divide the anatma into 3, sthula, sukshma, karana. The same thing is divided into 5, where we can connect annamaya to sthula and prana, mana and vijnanamaya. Pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, vijnanamaya kosha. Prana is prana. That which is important for the jiva to sustain in this shariram, prana. As long prana is there, the jiva is intact with this shariram. That is why we say when the person dies, prana leaves the body, we say. So prana is important. With part of this sukshma shariram. And manaha is mind, manomaya kosha. Mind is also part of the sukshma shariram. Because mind is not something available sthula, you can remove it and you can replace it. There is no mind transplantation. Heart transplantation is a lung transplantation. What about mind transplantation? It is mind cannot be, you cannot see it, but it is sukshma, subtle thing. Therefore, manomaya kosha. Similarly, vijnanamaya kosha, buddhi. All these form the kosha, the layer that can be connected to the shariram, sukshma shariram. From the shariram standpoint, these three are nothing. The sukshma shariram. Sukshma shariram from the kosha standpoint can be divided into these 3. Pranamaya, manomaya, vijnanamaya. And karana shariram, That is Anandamaya Koshaha. So, therefore, whether it is Shariratrayam or Panchakosha, it all mean the same. Like one person playing the role of the father and playing the role of the husband, playing the role of the son. Different role he plays. In the same way. In the same way, this Shariram is looked upon from different standpoint and it is divided. And that is taken for our inquiry to understand the real nature of it. It is mithya. That to understand that it is divided. That is the idea. So we should not give too much reality to this because it is mithya. So the three layers that is three shariram is anatma. So atma is vitiriktaha. And the 5 layers of personality, the 5 layers, which is panchakosha, atma is atitaha. Atitaha, vitiriktaha means both means same. It is different or transcending, which transcends these 5 layers. Transcends means mithya. These layers are mithya. These layers come and go, but Atma continues to be. Atma continues to be. This Anatma, all this, that's why these Anatmas are many. Anatmas are many, and Atma which transcends, which is different and continues to be. It is Vitiriktaha, Atitaha. Iti. Now, these 5 koshas, we said it is the body, that is Shariram, the body. The 3 Shariram, Sthula, Sukshma, Karna, Sharira is divided into 5 layers or 5 levels of experience. And the word kosha meaning cover, as though the 5 koshas, the 5 layers or levels of experience, as though it covers the Atma. That is why the word kosha is used, as though it covers the Atma. Kosha means cover, but cover means not literally, it is like a cover. Like the money is kept in a cover with the kosha. It's not like that. Or the asi, the sword is kept inside the cover, scabbard. So you have to remove the scabbard to see the sword. It is not that type of cover. As though Atma is covered by these 5 layers of experience, kosha. Koshavat achadakatvat koshaha. Like a kosha, like a cover, covers a thing. Similarly, this Atma is as though covered, achadaka, as though covered by this kosha. That is why the word kosha is used. Even the dress, what we wear, is a kosha. It covers the body. Because it covers the body, that kosha, the dress, is not a part of me. If it is a part of me, then I cannot remove it. I cannot take bath. Then it becomes like kavacha kundala. Always it will be there with me. Even the dress or even the makeup, the decorations, whatever we do, all these are kosha only. Kosha covers, but as though covers. So, therefore, Atma is as though covered by this kosha. This is important to understand. That's why I use the word as though covered. It doesn't really, Atma cannot really be covered. Suppose if it covers, then what you do? You have to remove one by one. Each kosha you have to remove, physically remove to see Atma inside. Like the onion you are peeling. You have to peel the onion skin. The skin. You have to peel the onion skin to see, to go to inside the onion. Similarly, the koshas also have to be peeled. Atma is not like that. Atma is not sitting inside the 5 koshas. It is, you cannot, can you keep Atma inside the 5 koshas and cover the Atma? You cannot. It is not that way. That way you should understand. The covering is this the pot covering the clay. The pot covering the clay. Suppose if I say the pot covers the clay. Can a pot really cover the clay? A pot is nama and rupa, which is mithya. It cannot really cover the substance, the clay. Therefore, the covering is that pot which is as though covers the clay. The nama rupa as though covers the substance. That is called the covering. That is called kosha. Really, the substance is clay, whether it is pot with name and form or without name and form, it is clay only. The clay cannot be covered. Even if you paint, even if you decorate it, it is continues to be clay only. That is why this maybe with regard to the pot and clay example, we are not that much have knowledge or discrimination to understand. But with regard to the gold, we are very clever. We are very intelligent with regard to the gold and the golden ornament. Whether we buy a necklace, gold necklace, we very well know the necklace, then the gold necklace, we ask, we weigh it and accordingly pay the price. So the necklace, which is a form and a name, is nothing but the gold only. We don't weigh the necklace, the form and name. We weigh the gold only. The weight of the necklace is the weight of the gold. We very well know when we buy a necklace, we buy the gold. The gold has value, not the necklace, not the nama rupa. That is why the gold can be the gold. That is why our value of the necklace is the value of the gold. So this much gold, this much value we have. That's why that gold can, even when you mortgage that, the value for the gold is only given, not for the value for the necklace. So we very well know when we buy an ornament, a golden ornament, necklace, we buy gold. We never really buy the necklace. We buy only the gold. Maybe we are attracted by the shape of the gold. It is fit for wearing. It fits me very well. Therefore, we may get attracted by the form, but the value is only for the gold. So, therefore, can the necklace really cover the gold? In that case, we are very clever. We see the value of the gold. We see only gold, really. When we buy a necklace, means we very well know we are buying the gold. We are paying price only for the gold. And when you sell it, you are getting money for the gold only, not for the necklace. So that is called the covering. The necklace covering the gold. That is called the covering. Similarly, here Atma. When we say Atma, covered by this 5 kosha, it is this covering. It is not like the scabbard which covers a sword. Not like that. It is like this, a pot covering the clay, a necklace covering the gold. So, therefore we say these coverings are mithya. The necklace is mithya. The pot is mithya. What is there is only the substance, clay only. Clay alone has become the pot. Clay is given a shape, and it has got a name, become a pot. Similarly, the necklace is given a shape and a name. The gold is given a shape and a name that has become necklace. They are mithya. Similarly, the panchakoshas are also mithya. That is why it is not counted. That is why there are many. Many are there but not counted. They are dismissed because they are anatma. So what is really is only Atma. So therefore, there is no really removal of the cover. Therefore, there is no really removal of the cover. If you assume that to be a real cover, then you have to do a lot of sadhana to remove the covers. To uncover Atma, you have to do sadhana. First, you have to do sadhana for removing the Annamaya. How will you remove Annamaya? That is only by death. After death, what sadhana is possible? You cannot do sadhana with Sukshma Sharira. You need a physical body only, then you can do sadhana. So, there is really no uncovering of Atma. Atma is not covered, never covered. How can it be uncovered now? I'm saying this, there is a wrong understanding among some people who have studied Vedanta, who are what in this, even sannyasis, some people, they think that the covers have to be removed. Therefore, sadhanas to be done. The cover is mithya. You don't have to remove it. Because Atma cannot be covered. Therefore, what sadhana to uncover Atma? To understand Atma only we need sadhana. What sadhana? Jnana sadhana. The study of Shastra. So therefore, there is no really removal of this cover of Atma. What is there is only the discovery of Atma. That is myself, which is present in all the experiences. In fact, because of which only all the experiences are possible. And Atma is not an object of experience. So, therefore, the translation of the word kosha is important. When you translate the kosha as a cover sheath also they use, food sheath, intellectual sheath, but we have to be careful. When you translate like that, then we are giving reality to anatma. The words, already we are familiar with certain words, and the words have got certain the meanings in our mind. So when we translate, we give that reality to it. So therefore, when we translate kosha as a cover or a sheath, we are giving reality to anatma. Therefore, the words are very important. When you translate, the words are important. If you understand, it is fine. With understanding, if you use the word cover or sheath, that is not a problem. But we have certain understanding of words, certain words. So therefore, the translation also very important. That is why it is not advisable to read the translation. That kosha, because certain words cannot be translated. That is a little bit of Sanskritam jnanam is important. So we will retain the word kosha as kosha only. So therefore, this 5 levels of experience, which is the Panchakosha. At each level we commit the mistake of taking anatma to be atma. At each level, the mistake is done. That is why this prakriya, this inquiry. Atma, which is not coverable, Atma is not covered by anything. It cannot be covered. And Atma is anantaha, purnaha. How can it be covered? So you cannot cover it. If it is Atma is anantaha, if it is to be covered, then the covering should be greater than ananta. That is not possible. Therefore, Atma can never be covered. Therefore, the Atma is located somewhere underneath that notion. If it is there, it has to be removed. Okay, then this Annamaya Kosha, which is a modification of Annam. Whatever we consume, that becomes Annamaya Kosha, and as though it is a cover. Similarly, the Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. The Maya means, the word Maya is a pratyaya. The Anna plus Maya, Annamaya, the Mayat, the pratyaya is Mayat. In Sanskritam, you will see the pratyaya, Mayat pratyaya. There are different pratyayas. And mayat is one pratyaya, which is used in the sense of vikara or prachuryarte. Vikara means modification. Prachurya means that which is available in plenty. Prachurya. So what sense you are using here, Annamaya, when you say it is available in plenty? No. When you say Jalamaya, Jalamayam, when you say, Jalamayam means it is plenty. It is only Jalam. The Chennai is Jalamayam when you say. Chennai, because of the recent cyclone and the rain, Jalamayam. It means it has got plenty of water. Everywhere is water. That is called Jalamayam. Not that Jalamayam means, Maya doesn't mean modification there. It is not, Chennai is a modification of water. Chennai is not a modification of water. The body is the modification of food. Therefore, Annamaya, we can say. So here, in this context, Maya means Vikararte Mayat. Maya means the change, modification. So Annamaya means the modification of Annam, which has resulted in this Stula Shariram, Annamaya. So it is not in the sense of that available in plenty. That is not the meaning here. And this physical body, which is a kosha, it's a cover, and it is taken to be myself. Because of that, I miss the Atma. So physical body becomes a locus for committing the mistake. Physical body, in fact, it is over which we have tremendous identification. I am a Brahmana, I am a Kshatriya, I am a Vaishya, I am Shudra, Agam Bharatiya, Agam Amerikaya, Agam Krishnaha, Agam Stulaha. So many Abhimana is there with this body. I am black, I am white, I am dark, I am skinny, I am fat. So the first mistake which we commit is this identification with the body, the Annamaya Kosha. That is Stula Sharira. Then the Sukshma Shariram, which divided into the layers, which is divided into in terms of the layers of experience as Pranamaya, Manomaya, and Vijnanamaya. At these three layers of experience also we commit mistake. We commit mistake of taking Atma to be Anatma. How? When you say Prana, because of Prana only we feel hunger, we feel thirsty. Because of Prana only a person feels healthy or unhealthy. If Prana doesn't function, the person becomes unhealthy. In Ayurveda, they see that your prana at a balanced level. The medicines are given to make the prana balanced. If prana is imbalanced, that results in aswasthya, anarogyam, amayam, unhealthy. So, when you say I am hungry, I am thirsty, I am healthy, I am not healthy, it means your identification at the level of prana. So, at the level of physiological activities, there is identification of you. So, that is identification with the physiological activities of this shariram. That is there. That is pranamaya. Similarly with the mind also. Manovikaratvat, it's called manomaya koshaha. Mind is also the modification. Mind, which is the shariram, this manomaya kosha, the layer of that experience is the modification of the mind. The mind is always not same. It goes on changing because its nature is to change. You cannot keep the mind still. Mind is supposed to think. Think means the thoughts come and go. Only when different thoughts are there, then it is called mind. You cannot have only one thought. You can practice to have a single thought. And that thought also it's not single. It is a flow of similar thought. That is called meditation. That is called upasana. Upasana the flow of similar thoughts. Sajatiya vritti pravaha, that is called upasana. There is no stilling the mind, only one thought in the mind. It is not, that is not the nature of mind. You cannot stop the flowing water. Mind is like that only. That is called mind is. So that is again a wrong idea about the mind. Chitta vritti nirodha, Yoga Shastra says, therefore you have to stop the mind. You cannot stop the mind. The nature of the mind is to entertain thoughts. Its nature is to change. Only when change happens, then only you can think also. When there is no change, then no knowledge can take place. So this mind, this level, this layer of personality, that mind at the mental level, as though it covers the Atma. Koshavat achadakatvat koshaha. This mind, the condition of the mind becomes your condition. That is a covering. When the mind is restless, you say, I am restless. When the mind is angry, you say, I am angry. So whatever the mind experiences, that becomes your experience. So that is the covering. So Manomaya Kosha. That is Manomaya. Therefore, Manomaya Kosha is not you. It is Anatma. Similarly, Vijnanamaya Kosha. Vijnanamaya Kosha, Vijnana, the Kartritvam. The Kartritvam is called Vijnanamaya. Aham Karta, I am the doer. I am the doer, that is the Vijnanamaya Kosha, the Kartritvam. But the doer is not doing the same thing, his actions changes. Therefore, the doer also undergoes changes according to the change in the actions. He changes. Aham karta, that vritti, that is called vijnana. And that as though covers the Atma, therefore it is called Vijnanamaya Kosha. Vikaravatvat, Vikaratvat, Koshavat Achadakatvat, Vijnanamaya Koshaha. Atma is taken to be karta. That is a covering. Atma cannot be karta. It is purely sakshi. It is only in the form of awareness, consciousness, awareness. It is sakshi. It cannot perform any action. How can Atma perform action? Atma, which is Purnaha, which is unlimited, which doesn't need anything to complete itself, what action can it do? In the presence of Atma, only all action take place. But the Atma is taken to be the doer. That is a mistake. That is because of the identification with this Vijnanamaya. That's why it's as though it is a cover for Atma. It is Vijnanamaya Kosha. Because this Kartritvam is there, therefore only the person becomes a Bhokta. Kartritvam, Bhoktritvam is there, therefore only various forms of Karma, Pala, Sukham, Dukkham, all these things, they come to the person. And therefore only Anandamaya. Because Kartritvam is there. Person does karma for what? For gaining happiness. Various forms of sukham, what you experience. That is the Anandamaya. They are also the modification. They are also, because various degrees of happiness are there, and they are the modification of, they are the modification, therefore it is called Anandamaya. Therefore it is called Anandamaya Kosha. So at the level of Kartritvam, it is Vijnanamaya. At the level of Bhoktritvam, it is Anandamaya. Bhokta also changes because different forms of Anandas are there. So therefore different forms, different levels of Ananda. So that becomes the Kosha as though for the Atma. That is why it's called Anandamaya Kosha. As I said, there are different degrees of happiness. Priyaha, Modaha, Pramodaha. These are you will see later the definition will come. Different degrees of happiness. That different degrees of happiness as though become a cover for Atma. Therefore it is Anandamaya Kosha, which is not Atma. So therefore the experiential Ananda, which is of different degrees, which are of different degrees. That is taken to be the Swarupa of Atma. Therefore, it is Mithya. Therefore, the Anandamaya Kosha, which is Koshavata Achadakatvat, therefore it is Anatma. Ananda Vikaratvat Koshavat Achadakatvat Koshaha. Therefore, Atma is mistaken to be Bhokta. So, at five layers of experience, 5 layers of personality, Anatma is dismissed. Anatma is dismissed. It is Atma is distinct from this Anatma. Then what is Atma? Atma is which is Atitaha, Vitiriktaha from the 5 koshas, which is different from the 3 shariram, and it is the Avastha Traya Sakshi, the witness of the 3 states of existence, experience. What are the 3 states? Jagrat Avastha, the waking state, Swapna Avastha, the dream state, Sushupti Avastha, deep sleep state. The 3 states of existence or experience, it's called Avastha Trayam. Avastha means condition, the state of existence. Trayam means 3. So the 3 states of experience. The 3 states of experience, Atma as the witness, as an observer, it is there. So all our experiences can be covered under these 3 states: waking, dream, and sleep. These 3 states are common to all. And Atma is the Sakshi, the witness of all the 3 states of experience. Therefore, they are not the 3 states of experience. Atma is Vitirikta, different from these 3 states of experience. Atma is the witness. It can never be witnessed. Atma, which is the witness of the 3 states of experience, cannot be witnessed. It is not an object for something. So, therefore, it is the Sakshi. It is absolute Sakshi. Atma is Sakshi. That is why the word Sakshi is used. Sakshi means that which cannot be witnessed by something. That's called Sakshi Chaitanyam Atma. So, therefore, the Shariratrayam, Panchakosha, Avastatrayam, they are Anatma. They are not Atma, Anatma. And Atma is Sachit Ananda Swarupaha iti Yagatrishtati. That which is Sachit Ananda Swarupaha, that is Atma. Iti the Acharya answers the student. Now student will have many doubt about these words that is going to come. We will see. We will see those things one by one in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
धन्यवाद गुरुजी।
धन्यवाद
Dhanyawad.
Guruji.